Good morning, you all. Welcome to our first to be here. Here is a big news. Yes, the tale of a man who says he floated in the sea for more than a day to survive the tsunami which hit Tonga has captured global media attention. The volcanic eruption and tsunami hit the Iceland nation on Saturday, sweeping a total local Lisala Falau out of to sea. Mr. Fallows told to the reporter that he held onto a floating log during his 27-hour ordeal at sea before finally reaching the shore again. Tonga has confirmed 3 deaths, though the extent of damage is still unknown. Mr. Fallow, 57, told to the reporter he was scared when he saw the wave approach, but I had my faith in God, he would save me. When I was in the water, I remember going under 8 times. My legs are disabled and don't function as well. He explained the sea kept twirling me and taking me underwater. He said he then managed to grab hold of a floating log. I could hear my son calling from land and I didn't want to answer because I did not want him to swim out to find me. I just thrilled while holding onto the log. Mr. Fallu said, what came into my mind is that see there is life and death. Until you reach the shore, then you know if you are alive or dead. Meanwhile, it has now started trickling in with more governments deploying ships and flights to the country. Communications have been crippled with the only undersea cable that connected Tonga to the outside world ruptured in 2 places. A New Zealand ship which arrived at Tongatapu, the main island, on Friday was the first foreign major red ship to land. It was carrying 250,000 liters of water and has a desalination plant on board which can produce up to 70,000 liters of clean water every day. The UN says clean water supplies are the top priority for the Pacific nation. However, authorities also revealed on Friday that water testing on the main Iceland showed it is safe for drinking. Some communities on Tongatapu have, however, lost access to drinking water. Drinking water is being delivered to the outer Iceland, said the New Zealand government. It added that despite emerging reports of missing people, the death toll remained at 3 so far, 2 Tongan nationals and a British national. Australia has deployed its largest ship, the HMAS Adelaide, which set off for Tonga on Friday and is expected to arrive mid next week. The ship can carry helicopters which can then be deployed to take supplies to Tonga's smaller outer island. The UK announced on Friday that it was also redeploying its vessel HMS Spey to Tonga and had already sent aid supplies with the Australian ship. The UK will work closely with Australia and New Zealand to assist the recovery effort in Tonga and stands ready to support our long-standing Commonwealth partner, said UK Defence Minister Ben Wallace. The international response was held up in the first few days after the explosion because a blanket of volcanic ash made the airport's runway on Tongapatu unusable. Hundreds of volunteers spent days manually clearing away the ash so that emergency jet planes could land. The first 2 flights from New Zealand and Australia landed on Thursday, bearing pallets of drinking water, desalination tools, hygiene shelter, and medical kits as well as telecommunication equipment. Efforts have been made for contactless delivery as Tongan authorities have expressed concern about COVID being imported into the virus-free nation. It has only had one confirmed case, which was recorded in October 2021. On Thursday, a second Australian plane was turned back mid-flight after a crew member on board tested positive for the virus. The naval carriers are expected to bring far bigger quantities of aid. Meanwhile, communications with Tonga are slowly being restored through basic telecommunication networks. The volcano eruption severed the only internet cable connecting the island of 110,000 people to the world up until Wednesday. All information about the disaster had come from a few organizations with satellite phones on the island. Countries like China and Japan are also sending aid. Japan deployed one of its own military planes on Thursday to deliver supplies. China has also placed $1 lakh in relief cash assistance and a batch of emergency supplies. Going forward, China will continue to provide assistance in cash and supplies based on the situation and Tonga's need, said Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian in Beijing on Thursday. Tonga is one of the key Pacific island nations in an increasingly contested region which has seen an influx of loans and donations from China. China is now the second largest donor of foreign aid in the region behind Australia, analysts say. Earlier this week, former Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd tweeted, Australia must be the first and foremost giving assistance to Tonga, otherwise China will be there in spades. Behind this report for Shakti US.